All right, I'm going to show you a variation of the Jefferson curl using a slant board. And the slant board here is basically to keep your feet up at an incline. The heel's low, the toes are high. I just slap this together out of some scrap wood. You can actually buy a technical slant board if you want. But the idea here is to get something close to a 4 to 6 inch elevation between the heel and the toe. All right, so this is going to stretch your calves quite a bit, the back of the knee, and force your hamstrings to work. And all of that may be tight and you may not go very far. So when you start with this, basically, and I'm on a block here so that when I come down, especially when you get more range, you need to be able to bring your hands lower than your feet. So I'm just doing this straight body weight here and just taking this to the fold. So my heels are down, toes are lifted, and I'm going to tense up the thighs, keep them tense and keep the knees locked, and just let my arms hang. And you want to round this down from your head, keep the legs straight, round from the upper back as completely as you can, get into the mid back, the low back, keep coming down, keep your thighs tense and try to pull your belly in toward your thighs, and then come back up the same way. The legs stay straight, you're rounding up from the upper back and going all the way up to vertical. Now, you can do this and add weight. So my hamstrings are pretty open. That's relatively easy for me, and that's not going to be easy for everybody. Body weight is fine if that already feels like a big stretch on the back of the legs, and that's where you should work it from. After that, if you're not feeling enough of a stretch, you start adding a little bit of weight, so just enough so you can feel a difference. Now, people take this pretty far, and for mobility purposes, you can take this to the point where you're holding 12.5 pounds of your own body weight on each hand, so going to 25%, and that's more for mobility purposes than anything else. People do take this much further, and after a certain point, it's questionable whether you need to do it to that. Basically, you're doing that to some specific purpose, some sort of competitive sport. But from here, I'm just going to bring this down. So I basically got about 25 pounds total. It's about 12.5 in each hand. This is roughly 15% of my body weight. So this is weighted for sure. Now again, the toes are lifted, heels down, lock your knees, keep your thighs tense, and then just let the arms hang, round this down from the upper body, and take it slow. And keep in mind, you don't want to feel strain in your back like you're popping something here. You're definitely going to work the muscles. You're definitely stretching the back line of your body. And you're trying to let the weights just hang down past your toes. And if possible, bring your torso down to touch your thighs, which is going to be difficult until you can sort of add weight on this fold. And then as you bring it back up, round from the low back, and work the restacking up the length of your spine until you bring your head up last. And again, just rounding down. Chin to chest, let your arms hang, and just take it slow. Now I'm pretty open. Having my toes lifted like this definitely makes this a much more strenuous movement than a regular forward fold. But again, you're just working the mobility to take it back and forth. And you want to feel this, basically the work through the muscles as you take it up and down slow. And it's definitely another way to work this exercise. All right, so I hope this helps.